Okay, my name is Susan Ferris-Wrights. I'm the president of the League of Women Voters. I'm sorry that we're starting late. We got late notice that one of the incumbent candidates is not able to join us this evening. So we discussed how we're going to run this, and we're going to go full speed ahead with what we were going to do. So there you have it. The League of Women Voters is an organization that's devoted to voter education, among other things. And this is an opportunity for you as a resident of your community to get to know your candidates for Board of Education. The way it works is there are note cards. You need to submit a question that you would like to ask of all three candidates on the note card. They're going to be collected over here. And we're going to take as many of the questions as we can in the time that we have allotted. I would remind you that we do not address personalities, but we address the politics of your town. The other thing is you need to consider that we're asking questions about things that these people are able to make decisions about. So, for example, we don't ask them to discuss their feelings about Kavanaugh being put on the Supreme Court, okay? We want to keep it local because that's what these folks are going to be working with and on, okay? We're going to start out, each candidate is going to have an opportunity to make a 2-minute introduction. We're going to start, each candidate will then have a question that they'll be asked. Each candidate will answer the same question, and then each candidate will have a 30-second rebuttal to rebut whatever they may have heard or what was said previously before we move on to the next question. So there we have it. So may we start with Ms. Brody for her 2-minute introduction, and then Ms. Williams, and then Mr. Atkins.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Deb Brody. I've been living in Scotch Plains for about 26 years. My husband grew up here, first in Westfield, then in Scotch Plains, and he graduated from the high school here, so we have a long-standing presence in the town. I have 4 children from ages 22 to 30, all very successful at this point and or graduating school. I've been running my own business for the past 17 years as a QuickBooks Pro advisor, and what I do is I train and coach small business owners in using their QuickBooks software or other accounting software and how to read their financial statements and how to be successful business people. My education background is I have an undergrad in accounting. I have 2 master's degrees, one in management systems analysis and another in accounting, and all 3 are from Kane University. And I've passed the CPA exam on my first try, proud to say. Thank you very much. I've held president positions in about 15 years out of my 20 years of volunteering in town, all president positions in every level of the school PTAs. I've been in multiple, I can't even tell you how many committee chairs and so on and so forth. I've also was the president of the district PTA council for 2 years, which is who runs this event. Thank you very much. I ran the project graduation for 2 years, and I continue to volunteer there when I can as a chaperone. And prior to me being on the Board of Ed, I was a treasurer of the Education Enrichment Foundation of Scotch Plains and Fanwood for approximately 5 years or so, and I was a member there before that. I feel that I'm a committed volunteer on behalf of the students and the community for most of my time in Scotch Plains. And I most recently have been on the board for 2.5 years. I'm a finance committee member, and I am currently the chair of the Community Relations Committee, and I am currently a member of the Scotch Plains Fanwood Scholarship Foundation. Thank you.
Ms. Williams.
Good evening. My name is Tanya Williams, and I humbly ask for your vote as I run for re-election as a member of the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education. I'm a graduate of Scotch Plains Fanwood High School, and I'm also proud to say that each of my children have attended schools within the Scotch Plains Fanwood School District. Our eldest daughter, Tony, attended School 1, Park Middle School, and graduated from Scotch Plains Fanwood High School. Our 16-year-old Jason attended Evergreen, Park Middle School, and is currently a junior at the high school. Our youngest son, Aiden, is currently attending School 1 Elementary as a 4th grader. I have working relationships with the PTA, and I volunteer on several committees classroom activities and as a room parent. And it was those interactions that led me to initially seek election as a member of the Board of Education in 2015, and I was elected. And I'm proud to say that you believed in me enough and supported me, and I was successful in that campaign. I stand here today, 3 years later, having made a significant impact on our school district in conjunction with my members of the Board of Education, our residents, superintendent, town council, and of course you, our parents and children. But there is more work to be done. And with your support, some continued, some new, I will be able to make a positive impact on our school system and more specifically our school district. Thank you.
Mr. Atkins.
Good evening, everybody. As you can tell, I'm the away team today. We got the home team here, so I feel a little bit like an outsider. But anyway, my name is Alphonse Akins. Most people in town knows me as Matthew's dad. But yes, I do have a name. It's Alphonse Akins. I've been living in Scotch Plains for the last 8 years with my wife and 2 kids. By trade, by profession, I'm a CPA. I work with major corporations globally in finance transformation area. And I don't do social media. I don't do Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of that stuff, but you can find me on LinkedIn.com. Anything that you want. I'm still trying to learn how to play Fortnite. So anyway, hope I have enough time for this. Recently, my daughter graduated from Scotch Plains High School. And throughout those 4 years, I discovered how grossly inadequate the counseling structure was around the students in our place here. It was a major struggle for us to get any substantive time with the guidance counselors. And right now, we have about 1,600 students at the high school and only a handful of guidance counselors in the school system. It's a horrible ratio of 267 students per counselor. This is not acceptable. The counselors are overloaded, they're overworked, and as a result, the students they're frustrated, they fall through the gaps, they drop out of the school completely, and the lack of access to quality time with counselors is a major contributing factor to our low college readiness and a very high dropout rate. We need counselors to improve, we need more counselors basically to improve the wall of support for our students.
Mr. Atkins, thank you.
Okay, good.
Thanks. Okay. The way this works is for you folks that are up there, this gal down here has a red card and a yellow card, and when you have 30 seconds left, she'll put that up. When she's a red card, that means stop. Okay, so I need my first question. Okay, you just want me to ask, okay. There were 2 questions that were given to the candidates prior to this evening. So I'm gonna start with Mr. Atkins. Question 1, what do you feel are past and present successes we've had as a district?
Well, most recently, Dr. Hayes and the school administration have been doing a lot of work on school safety. What I like about that is the line of communication with the community in general and the connectivity with the politicians as well to kind of help put the system on its feet, to get the officers where they need to be and to help our school to be more secure. But I do have a lot of problem with the cameras around the school system that are not working, and so that is somewhere that I think we need to make a lot of improvement in terms of securing the buildings.
Okay, Ms. Williams, what do you feel are past and present successes we've had as a district?
Having served on the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education for the past 3 years, our school district continues to rank as one of the top schools in Union County as it relates to our graduation rate and our children going on to college. According to most recent data compiled from the Department of Education, Scotch Plains Fanwood School District received an overall niche grade of an A on a scale of A to F, A being the highest. That grade takes into consideration our academics, teachers, diversity, college prep, health and safety clubs and activity. In addition, our Scotch Plains Fanwood School District ranked top 5 in school districts in Union County and top 10% of school districts in the state of New Jersey. And we also ranked in top 10% with the best teachers in New Jersey. And additionally, our teacher-student ratio is 14-1, which is well below the national average.
Thank you. Okay, and Ms. Brody, what do you feel are past and present successes we've had as a district?
I pretty much sort of made a list. Most significantly was the implementation of the full-day kindergarten with no bond being done. So it was all done throughout our operating budget. We added to the buildings, we added staff, which was a great achievement. And as well as that, the curriculum that was established by the kindergarten teachers coming in and the staff that was here and the administration is second to none. So that is, they deserve really big kudos for that. And I have to say I got on the board at the tail end of that, but they really deserve a lot of credit for that. There's continual upgrades and maintenance on all the facilities, again, all within the operating budget. And the maintenance department does a lot of the work themselves, which saves us a lot of money. They're very, very talented and they deserve a lot of credit for that. We had security upgrades, we added SRO and the other officers in all the schools last year. We have a STEAM curriculum that is continually being innovated and it's just fabulous. We also had an additional social worker position that we added. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. We'll start with Ms. Williams. What future challenges do you think we face as a district?
Diversity is something that should be improved. I will continue to work with other members of our school board and superintendent. We'll prioritize increasing diversity to at least to a level that matches the diversity of the population we serve.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry.
school safety, we're not going to stop with what we, like Deb said, what we have now. We'll continue to we rank currently 56 out of 383 school districts in the state of New Jersey, but we're not going to stop until we are the safest, not just in the state of New Jersey, but the entire country. And like Deb said, we did implement officers in each in our school district, and that's certainly something positive.
Okay. And Mr. Ack, the question is, what future challenges do you think we face as a district?
Well, I think school safety has been nice. It's a nice start that we have so far, having officers in place around the school system. The biggest problem that I have is with this racist graffiti that we have in our school right now, okay? That's not even a big concern. I think people are dealing with that. But if you look at the picture of that graffiti, you'll see a security camera right there and then, okay? And 12 days later, we still don't have pictures of the perpetrators of this crime, all right? So that goes into what do we need to do to improve more security for our school, okay? Because that's paramount, right? Right now, it's racist graffiti. Tomorrow, it could be something else, all right? I need to know who's in charge of that security system. Is the camera working? Did it not take good picture? Does it not have does it not have night vision? Okay, what are the I just want to see the pictures of the perpetrators, period. So I need to make more improvement. We need more improvement there.
Okay. Alrighty. This question is going to start with Ms. Brody, and the question is this. How can we better support our elementary students dealing with anxiety?
Excuse me?
Yeah?
I didn't get the chance
Oh,
to
I'm
answer.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I also had a list of things, but I just want to rebut. Can I rebut a little bit what Mr. Atkins said?
Yeah.
There is no truth that those cameras were not working. We even as a board are not given information from the police as to how they're investigating. So if there were pictures, none of us in the would have them because they are being used by the police departments to investigate. So it's not necessarily true that the cameras were not working.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
May I please respond to that?
You can.
Okay, good.
Your
So
30
in
seconds.
a normal crime scenario, right? If that camera is actually working, if you guys are doing such a great job, like you said, that camera should have been working. The picture should have been released to the public and asking the public for help. Okay? It's not something that should be kept close to your vest. Okay? I don't know who's running the camera, either the administration or the police, but I want to see pictures of those perpetrators. If they're not there, it tells me the camera is not working. Something is not working right. Okay? We see this all the time, but when there's a crime committed, the pictures are released.
Thank
I
you.
want to see those pictures.
May I rebut again?
You may not.
Okay.
May I rebut?
You may, yes.
If they were minors, we wouldn't have that information.
So if a minor placed
No,
a foreign
no,
object next to the school,
Mr.
you wouldn't have
Atkins,
the
it doesn't
pictures?
go like this,
I'm sorry.
okay? You get a chance to rebut, and
Okay.
it's obviously a topic that conversation,
That's fine.
but that's it.
It's the security of our school system. It's very important.
I gotcha, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next question. Now we'll start with Ms. Brody. How can we better support our elementary students dealing with anxiety, stress, and other mental issues that present obstacles to learning? Ms. Brody.
Well, we did add a social worker that will be for the elementary schools that will help us do that. We do have support systems in place at the elementary schools that we are continually implementing and improving as we go along.
Okay. All right. Mr. Atkins, how can we better support our elementary students dealing with anxiety, stress, and other mental health issues that present obstacles to learning?
I'm going to go back to my opening statement. The current staffing level for guidance counselors is just too low. Okay, we need to reprioritize what we do and focus on these resources on the counseling part of this, right? So we need better counseling at all grade levels. I think that'll help.
Okay. Ms. Williams? How can we better support our elementary students dealing with anxiety, stress, and other mental health issues that present obstacles to learning?
Well, that's something that as a district we do focus on, and as Deb said, we did hire another social worker that goes to now the middle schools and the elementary schools, and I'm confident that we will look into that more and hire more social workers as we see fit.
Okay. Alrighty. Next question starts with Mr. Atkins. In what ways can SPF improve recruitment and retention of a highly qualified and diverse teaching staff that reflects the diversity of the student body? In what ways can SPF improve recruitment and retention of a highly qualified and diverse teaching staff that reflects the diversity of the student body?
So a number of years ago, a number of administrations ago, I don't recall the exact name of the superintendent. That superintendent made it a priority to have a diverse staff. And for many years after that, the staff was diverse. Right now, I don't see that as a priority. So that we need to make that as a new priority to have a diverse teaching community. That doesn't mean we need to hire people that are not qualified, okay? I'm not the one that says diversity means just hire anybody off the street. We just need to put more effort into hiring qualified teachers from all, all walks of life.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Williams, in what ways can SPF improve recruitment and retention of a highly qualified and diverse teaching staff that reflects the diversity of the student body?
Well, I would say probably go to different areas than where we currently are. Go to different schools where maybe offering different packages for teachers that typically may not come to the school district, but there's certainly ways that we can look at it and again, work with the district and work with the superintendent and our human resources to get the most qualified candidate so that we can have a more diverse teachers.
Ms. Brody?
I know that it is something that this district design is part of our district goals. We just recently, last week, we voted on a grant that would, I don't remember offhand all the exact specifics of it, but it will foster the growth of teachers from within our own, within our own community that will provide diversity in the future. That's one thing, and that's partnered with Kane University and I believe Plainfield Public Schools. So that is one thing that we do. We are part of another grant with them that we've been on for 3 years. It's a partnership with Plainfield Public Schools, Kane University, and ourselves. We are always working on it. It's not an easy task sometimes, but it's not like we are not trying to do something about it.
Okay.
Can I comment on that?
You may.
Okay. So New York City has had a diversity program for a number of years. The program is working fine, all right? My point here is, you guys say you've been doing something, we haven't seen any results, okay? So in order for you to show result, I think the superintendent needs to make it a priority and put more effort into it and go beyond Scotch Plains to be able to find qualified teachers that have diverse backgrounds. We can't keep looking down the same pipe hole and trying to find something that may not exist. We need to broaden our horizon and go elsewhere and find qualified teachers to come here and add to our community.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Oh, okay. Okay, next question. With the last strategic plan underway, which of the 4 goals do you identify with most and why? And Ms. Williams, you're going first on this, by the way. These are the 4 areas, 4 goals. Health and wellness, 1. 2, real world connections. 3, professional development. 4, community engagement. With the last strategic plan underway, which of the 4 goals do you identify with most and why? 1, health and wellness. 2, real world connections. 3, professional development. And 4, community engagement.
So being on the Board of Education, I was a part of the strategic goal planning. And what resonated most with me was definitely health and wellness. Being a health coach, that absolutely makes me excited when I hear about healthy eating, exercising, and mindful moments, mindfulness. That just makes me happy when I think about alternative ways to bring to our district. So that definitely, health and wellness, that goal definitely resonates with me.
Okay. And Ms. Brody?
I would say the community engagement piece, because we don't live in a silo, we don't live on a little island in Scotch Plains Family Public Schools. And because of that, as a district, as parents, as Board of Ed members, we need to reach out and be involved with the community, not just the community, but with our own school community as well, and just be more involved. And the diversity rally across the way kind of showed that there was a whole bunch of different organizations all pulling together, which is something that we want to be part of as well.
Okay. Mr. Atkins?
Well, look at that. We actually agree on something. I had a meeting with Dr. Hayes and Ms. Saradaki, I think it was last week or so. And I spent a little bit over 2 hours talking to them. At the conclusion of my conversation, I actually empathize with what they do. They do a lot of important things here. A lot of people sitting in this room, we don't even know how much work they do, okay? And at the end of that conversation, one of the things that I shared with both of them was like, if you guys are doing all these things, how come the community doesn't know about it? And then Dr. Hayes shared with me the strategic plan, the communication piece, and I said, this is exactly where we need to get better, all right? I would not be sitting here today if it wasn't the wide gap in communication that we have with our community. all right? We're doing a lot of work in the school system. We have a lot of rules and regulations and that we have to meet, but nobody else knows that outside of this room here, you know? You have the politicians saying one thing, the taxpayers are saying something, and it's just, there's no connectivity between the school system and the community.
Okay. Alrighty. Any rebuttals? No? Okay. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start with Ms. Brody. How have your experiences as a parent shaped your outlook on the Board of Ed's role in the schools at each level? Okay, I see what this says. How have your experiences as a parent shaped your outlook on the Board of Education's role in the schools at each level, that being high school, middle school, and elementary school? Your parental experiences.
My PTA experiences aside, just as a parent, those experiences help me see that as a parent, when you have an issue, a good thing, a bad thing, you deal with that at your school level. The Board of Ed doesn't deal with the day-to-day operations of the schools and the staff and issues on staff level until you go through a certain protocol. As a parent, I learned about that protocol and I followed it when necessary, and if I had to go to the superintendent, I did that. It wasn't like I was afraid to, but it just showed me that it is more of an oversee job. It is a policy making job, a policy managing job. It is not a micromanaging of the district job.
Okay, and Mr. Atkins, how have your experiences as a parent shaped your outlook on the Board of Ed's role at each level of the schools?
It hasn't been good. It has not been good, I'll tell you that. Building on what I said before, there's a huge gap of communication between what the board of Ed does, what the school system is doing, versus what the community is hearing. Okay, the community is frustrated, right? There's a lot of issues out there that doesn't get bubbled up to the superintendent. People are frustrated. People talk to each other, but they still don't come here. So I think as a board, we need to engage the community, right? I've encouraged Dr. Hayes as well. We need to do more to engage, Mr. Mooney, the newspapers. Let people know what we're doing, because as long as they don't know what we're doing, they get frustrated. You hear noises, and people are not happy, including me.
Okay. Ms. Williams?
Repeat the question.
I will. How have your experiences as a parent shaped your outlook and the Board of Ed's role in the schools at each level, elementary, middle, high school?
Okay. Well, as a graduate, it's been great. Scotch Plains, Old Spiffy High. But as a parent, my daughter's 23, and she elementary, middle, and high school, and I've had it was positive for me. So that's why I came back to Scotch Plains, because it was positive for me as a graduate, and it was important for me to raise my kids in a district where I thought that they would do well once they graduated and once they went on. And I felt like the Board of Education would be the next step for me as a graduate and as a parent, being on the PTA, being a room mom. And you learn a lot being on the Board of Ed. You find out what you can do and what you can't do.
Okay. Let me get rid of this question. Okay. Okay. All right, we're going to start with Mr. Atkins here. Due to technological advances, students and professionals are frequently exposed to diverse cultures. How should we prepare our students for these professional experiences and be more tolerant of these changes?
Just repeat the question.
Yep. Due to technological advances, students and professionals are frequently exposed to diverse cultures. How should we prepare our students for these professional experiences and be more tolerant of these changes?
Thank you. I think overall, I think the teachers in the school are doing a great job. I will say that for sure, because like I said, my daughter went to SPF High School for 4 years, and I've met all her teachers, excellent teachers. I think the teachers are doing the best they can to make sure that kids are prepared for, outside environment, other cultures. The parents need to be more careful though, it doesn't matter whether you're driving in the car or you're going to the supermarket. It's the parents that play a larger role in what the students are learning. And when they learn that from the parents, they bring it to the school system and they act out what they learn from the parents. And now the teachers have to struggle with having to contain those issues. So I think overall the teachers are doing well. I just think the parents need to step up and watch their language, watch their words, and be more inclusive in terms of what we say to our kids, and realizing that kids are going to be learning from that. But overall, I think the teachers are doing great.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Williams, due to technological advances, students and professionals are frequently exposed to diverse cultures. How should we prepare our students for these professional experiences and be more tolerant of these changes?
Well, I agree that it does start at home with parents and family, with our children, and our teachers are doing a good job, but they do need maybe more resources in help figuring this all out, because this is something new, something we didn't have to deal with years ago. So we do a great job also at professional development, but maybe that's something that we can add on and have more of a focus on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Brody?
Could you repeat it again?
Yep. Due to technological advances, students and professionals are frequently exposed to diverse cultures. How should we prepare our students for these professional experiences and be more tolerant of these changes?
If I think I understand the question right. Within our school district, our curriculum does cover a lot of other countries, diversities, and things like that. There's a class actually called Global Perspectives, and they deal with current events. So it's all very current things that are going on. There also should be continuing education within the school, and even for parents' workshops on the issues of the technological part of it and how to handle that and how to monitor your kids.
Okay.
Let me add to that.
Yep.
Okay.
You can do that.
I
If
think
you're done. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, again, I'm the newcomer here. I'm not sure to the extent in which our curriculum that you described covers diversity and communication. So I think that's some area that we need to look at, specifically, teaching our kids diversity, especially on the high school level, when they're maturing and they're making decisions on their own, and they tend to say stuff that may hurt other people's feelings, tend to do stuff that may hurt other people's feelings without understanding their culture. So I think if there is a way to embed within the curriculum that aspect of, diversity teaching, I think we should definitely look to look at that.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, what can you do with the budget you have? That's the question. Start with Ms. Williams. And may I remind the audience that specific questions related to your teacher negotiations cannot be addressed in a public forum. This is a candidates forum, not a negotiation for a teacher contract. And there seem to be quite a few questions like that here. So I need questions that can be discussed publicly. So, what can you do with the budget you have? What exciting creative things can you do with the budget you have? I don't know. Trust me, this is a good question relative to what's over here.
I had to be the first one. Finance really isn't my thing. Well, what can we do with the budget? Well, there's lots of things we can do with our current budget. And our budget, we look into that every day. We have an awesome business administration and assistant superintendent and superintendent that keeps us abreast of our budget, and we have budget meetings and finance meetings. So every year it's something different as far as our budget is concerned, and our budget.
Okay, Ms. Brody, what can you do with the budget you have?
Well, the only thing I could say is, given the fact of our financial limitations with our budget, that we always stay within that 2% cap, we do as best as we can for the students, for the staff, for the maintenance of the buildings. It's a little bit of money that we actually have to spread really pretty far, and we don't have a lot of discretion over some of the miscellaneous expenses that we have. Most of it's all contractual. And you know, we really just do the best we can. But I will say that we continually make innovations and improvements, and we're still staying within that budget that we have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Atkins?
That's a great question, right? When I go to McDonald's or a steakhouse, I have to know what's in my pocket before I order my food. I can't order food and then find out that I don't have enough money in my pocket and then reach into Tanya's pocket and say, give me some more money. Okay? I think that's what we've been doing over the last 20 years, right? We figure out what we're gonna spend money on, we figure out, we're gonna spend $120 million. And then you say, oh wow, we only have $100 million. Okay, we're gonna tax the residents for the next $20 million. I don't think that's the way to budget. We need to figure out what do we have in our pocket first, right? And then prioritize those initiatives that we want to work on, right? And then go by that. So again, this goes back into the communication issue. There's a lot of things that we need to meet, but we need to learn to live within our budget.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I add that?
You may.
We don't spend money that we don't have. We build a budget increase within the legal cap every year, and that is what we spend. And that money is spent across the board between maintenance of the buildings, buying new textbooks, extracurricular activities, staff benefits, staff built-in contract increases. That's all built in. So we don't say, let's decide if we want to spend $200 million and then just pull that money from the taxpayers. We stay within the 2% cap. We don't go over.
I'm gonna dispute that. I'm going to dispute that. Because over the last 20 years, there has not been a single year where there has not been a tax increase on the taxpayers. Last year, it was 2.74%. That is not under the 2% cap. Okay? We need to learn to respect our residents and not just jack up rates on them every year. I understand there are things we need to do, but we need to prioritize those things to make sure that we're not choking our residents. We need to do that. It's not fair when we're just spending money. We're spending money on things, and we're just to the taxpayers. We're just reaching into their pockets, and we're not communicating with them.
Done. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Next question. Start with Ms. Brody. What should our district do to better prepare students as citizens, i.e., civics education, let's say, and what role does the Board of Ed play in that?
Well, we should instill the importance of volunteerism, of voting, registering to vote, being involved in your community in any way that is comfortable for the kids from every grade, from pre-K all the way up to high school. The Board of Ed can be involved with setting some policies to help not enforce that, but help facilitate that. And the Board of Ed could also help by being more community engaged, to be a part of it as well for the board and the students.
Okay. Mr. Atkins, what should our district do to better prepare students as citizens, i.e. civics education? And what role does the Board of Ed play in that?
Great, so I'm going to answer that question in a minute, but in my hand here, I'm holding the latest budget, which is 2.84% increase. That is not 2%.
Okay.
Just for the record.
You still get only 2 minutes.
That is
or
fine.
1 minute to answer.
I can use
Okay.
my time, correct?
Yes, you
Okay,
can.
so it's 2.84%. This current year, it's not 2%. But definitely what we should do is to engage our students in more volunteer activities, okay? And we need to be more connected with the town as well. There's a lot of things going on in the town that our students could volunteer for. You know, we have the Frazee House project that's been going on for many years. I haven't seen any high school student volunteer there, right? So I think something like that, we can get them engaged in the community, help the community, and it also helps them with the volunteer activity as well. Thank you.
And Ms. Williams, what should our district do to better prepare students as citizens, i.e. civics education, and what role does the Board of Ed play in that?
Well, community service is very important, as well as volunteering, and having something that kids want to volunteer to do. I volunteer for mobile meals. I take my kids to do that, but that doesn't seem like something they want to do. So my older son coaches basketball team for his younger brother. So his father and I have instilled community service and volunteering. That's very important to us. So just having a more diverse and different types of activities in the schools for our kids to volunteer for as early as elementary school. And, you know, just a quick story, they have the kids club for the elementary school. And I signed Aiden up and at his class trip form and his kids club form. And he took his class trip form, but he didn't take the kids club form. So, you know, he's just like, well, that interferes with gym. But, so we have to make it so that they want to volunteer and maybe not interrupt gym time.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think I got all that. Okay. All right, I think I can safely question. Okay, and I'm going to start with Mr. Atkins. There are obviously a number of teachers in the audience who have generated many questions pertaining to their future as educators in SPF. Why should these educators and those supporting the educators support your candidacy?
Well, because to me, teachers are great. All right, I love teachers. It doesn't matter what happens. Teachers always get blamed. Right? The politicians blame the teachers. The politicians blame the school system. The politicians blame everybody around. The parents blame the school system. The parents blame the politicians. I don't see anyone that's ever turned around and blame the parents. All right? So the teachers are doing the best they can within what is provided to them. Right? I don't care if I win or not,
But I think the parents need to step up and help the teachers at home. Help the parents, help the kids with their homework so that the teachers are not struggling trying to corral the kids in the morning. So I think the teachers are doing great, but I think the parents need to step up and help the teachers to make the kids more productive. Thank you.
Okay. And Ms. Obviously, a number of teachers in the audience have many questions pertaining to their future as educators in SPF. Why should these educators and those supporting educators support your candidacy?
Well, I love my teachers also. The teachers have a positive impact on our children. My kids still, when I go to back to school night, they still remember my oldest daughter, and they still remember some things about her. My daughter will still remember some of her favorite teachers. So it's very important for us to support our teachers and give them the resources they need so that they can help our kids. Our teachers are very good. I see them on the street, I see them in Quick Check. So we just really need to be, give them the resources that they need so that they can continue to do their job.
Okay? And Ms. Brody?
I think that I am a very, very fair person. I try to keep everybody's needs at mind. When you're a board member and you're handling a lot of these things that is being referred to, it's very difficult because you are trying to weigh the needs, wants, and everything of everybody in the school district at the same time with a limited amount of funds to do it. So I love my teachers. I have friends that are teachers. I've been involved with the teachers for 15 plus years here on an intimate level. And I would hope that my reputation as a PTA person and parent and leader here for the years and the Board of Ed and being on the Board of Ed, I would hope that that would stand for itself.
Okay, last question. And you start with Ms. Williams. How would you foster a relationship with the SPF teachers at the elementary, middle, and high school levels? I hope that's okay to ask.
You mean as a board member?
As a board member. Yes.
Say that again, please.
Okay. How would you, as a board member, foster a strong relationship with the SPF teachers at the elementary, middle, and high school level?
Well, this was something we were actually talking about the other day at our executive meeting, as far as going to PTA meetings, going to back to school nights, just being a presence for the teachers, knowing that we support them, not there as a parent, but as a Board of Ed member, going to sometimes they have teacher recognition week, being there also for them, just being a presence for the teachers, letting them know that we do have their back, and we're here for them.
Okay. Ms. Brody?
Having an open communication with them, I think one of the best things to have. It seems sometimes to be on a separatist level, and we're all here for the same purpose. We're all here for the kids. We're all here for the teachers and the staff, and we're all here for the community. And sometimes I think that gets lost by not communicating efficiently with each other, and I think that we need to do that more on an intimate level.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Atkins?
Like I said, without teachers, this place will not exist. So I think you need to put their interest front and center, number one. Okay? Regardless of what union they belong to, you got to put the teachers' interest front and center. Number two, I personally don't think the board has done enough to engage the teachers personally, right? We don't just sit here in the boardroom and expect everybody to come to us. Okay, as a volunteer, if you're truly interested in making the system work, you reach out to the teachers. You have to walk the halls, find out what bothers them, find out why they have to reach into their pocket to buy supplies for their classroom. Find those kind of things out and make it a priority in the budget to increase their stipend. That's what's important. A teacher shouldn't have to reach into their pocketbook to buy stuff for kids when we have $100 million budget. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I rebut?
You
Can I
can.
say something or maybe add to that?
You may.
I believe it's against the ethics. It's an ethics violation for us to roam the halls, and it's a safety issue. It's an ethics issue. We are not, as Board of Ed members, allowed to roam the halls of the schools. That is not the way that we would want to communicate either, because they're in there teaching the kids, and we can find out those things through other means.
If I may clarify that, when I say roam the halls, I don't mean walk through the halls while they're teaching. I mean engage them. Spend more time to engage them. Find out what they need. Find out what their issues are. Find out what the pain points are. Without them, you guys cannot succeed. Without them, we wouldn't be sitting here today. And the taxpayers are paying us for them. We need to respect. I'm not going to sit here and just not pay attention to them. We need to do more.
Okay.
Communication. We need to do more. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, before we do the summation, I'd like to thank everyone for coming this evening. I would remind everyone to get out and vote. We're hopeful, as the League of Women Voters, that someone will ultimately step forward and help us with a website that we have been running throughout the state called vote411.org. We don't have an active presence in this area, but we're hoping that someone's going to step up and do that. Please vote. It's soon. Today was the last day to vote, to register to vote. There's still time to get an absentee ballot. You need to apply for that. You can apply for all of those things online. For the summation, who did I start with for the intro?
You start
Okay.
with me.
So for the summation, Mr. Atkins, you're going to go first.
Oh boy. Okay. I thought the home team go first.
No.
All right. No worries.
Reverse the order.
Okay. Hey, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here today. I've always looked for ways to give back to the community. Right now, I am the sitting commissioner and vice chairman of the Scotch Plains Parks and Recreation. I've been a recent leader of the and the community chairman for Pac 98 Cub Scouts. I'm the founder of the Scotch Plains Fanwood Chess Club, and right now we have over 130 kids enrolled. On any given day, we have probably 30 kids that show up, and I have to run after them and put them in line, but chess is going very well. I also coach basketball in town. But more important to me is providing what our teachers need, providing what is needed inside the classroom. Okay? I don't want to, when I get in there, my goal is to work with the administration to do a reassessment of our priorities, do an assessment of our budget to make sure that we can keep taxes low and still be able to provide for the teachers and stuff that is needed in the classroom and counselors as well. Those two things are going to be my focus when I get in there. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brody?
Over the past 2.5 years, I think I've been a great addition to the Board of Ed. I have experience as a community volunteer on the other side of the audience for many, many years. I bring financial experience through my education and work experience. I understand the inner workings of the budget, and I'm really very passionate about the kids. That's really why I'm here. I am not here for any particular agenda. I'm here because I love this town and the school district, and I want to be here to help with our continued success and some more solid solutions to things that do need to be fixed. Nothing is 100% perfect. Being that is a contested election, I hope that my prior reputation through my volunteerism proved that I'm committed to the kids and the community as a whole. And I hope that the community will come out and support me in continuing as a member of the Board of Ed. Thank you.
Thanks. Ms. Williams?
Thank you. I'd like to thank all of you for attending tonight, and we know a lot of you came from the program at the high school, so we thank you for attending that as well. For the past 3 years, I served on the Facilities Committee and the Policy Committee, and I did great work, and I want to continue to do great work. I love this town. That's why I moved my children back here so that I can have them go to the school district here. I truly have a passion for our teachers in our school district, and I love being on the Board of Ed. The election is Tuesday, November 6th, and I humbly ask that you come out to vote, and more specifically, you come out and you pull a lever for me, Tanya Williams, so that I will be able to continue the positive efforts that I've seen for the past 3 years for at least another 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.